Hello, I'm Max Van D. Maxie and I would like to share a little help from what we've learned over the past few years with our COVID problem. If we haven't learned to be prepared, maybe we need to think about that because the same thing could happen again. So, about 3.5 years ago, something hit us that we never expected. It's caused havoc in our world, not just in our local areas, not just in our country, but across the world. It caused devastation in economies. We lost many of our rights and our freedoms. So many people lost their income, their homes, their loved ones, their health, for situations that should have never happened and probably could have been prevented because of all the lies and the media pushing fear and compliance from us. We didn't know how to handle it. We didn't know how to protect ourselves and survive through that. So we were not prepared. I believe we can be way better prepared now. So I have learned a few things over the past few years. So I would like to share some of those things with you so we will be ready for the next time. So what do we need to survive? Our basic needs are water, food, shelter, a way to cook, a way to stay warm when it's cold, a way to stay cool when it's hot. Without these things, we cannot survive. I watch a lot of homesteading and prepper channels. That's all fine and dandy if you have land or places to keep things. But when we're living on wheels and traveling mostly off grid, we don't have a lot of room. We can't grow our own food. We can't have livestock. We can't keep chickens and rabbits and things like that to supply food. We can't, if really, even small potted plants, that's not enough to sustain life. So we cannot do that if we're on the road. So food supply. How can we have enough food in our small vehicles or rigs to eat for 3 to 6 months? One way is by storing up dehydrated or freeze-dried foods. Foods that you will actually eat. Don't buy things you won't eat. Canned foods are very heavy, so it's hard to haul around a lot of weight or things that take up a lot of room in our small rigs. We need healthy foods as much as possible and foods that have enough calories just to keep us from losing weight and stay healthy. We need water. Water for cleaning, cooking, and drinking. Drinking water needs to be purified. You can buy purifier tablets in pretty much any store, like a Walmart or um, a Target or whatever kinds of stores you go to. Grocery stores, they have them. And so if you buy purifier tablets, you can take water from a creek or a lake or a river and make sure that all the bacteria is killed. If you have a water filter system on your rig, that's really good. If you don't have that, you have to have a way, maybe a water straw. One way to purify water is to boil it for about 20 minutes and then strain it through a straining cloth of some sort, maybe cheesecloth. So that's a good way to have purified water. You don't want distilled water because distilled water has been boiled in such a way it destroys all the good stuff in there. So that you don't want to lose the good nutrients, but do want to kill all the bacteria. So you need to know where the nearest lake or river or stream in the areas that you're traveling to. So if you don't know that, find out where the nearest well is, and you can make sure you can get more water if you need to. So what about shelter? Usually people that are on wheels, they have a shelter, a vehicle of some sort. You have to have a way to insulate it to make sure that the cold doesn't get in cold weather and that can keep most of the heat out in the hot weather. Reflexes works very good on windows, and you need to have like little USB fans and things like that to stay cool if because most rigs don't have air conditioning unless you have a generator. But remember, you have to be able to have access to fuel if you're running a generator. I recommend you keep your gas tanks as full as possible because if we don't know if there's always going to be fuel and or the prices maybe will go up to the point we can't even buy it. So, and what about rationing? If they ration our gas and food supply, then we could have a problem. How will you power your USB appliances or phones, things like that? You need to have a power supply, maybe a small solar power unit or something like that, or even those small ones that can plug into your cigarette lighter. Um, so those are things you need to think about because you do have to have some power, not a lot, but some. Even in an emergency, you have to have lighting, some kind of flashlight or solar light because you don't have to buy batteries for solar lights. What if you end up on foot? If you're on foot, say with a backpack or a bug out bag, it's a great idea to have a compass and an emergency radio. Usually you can get those emergency radios pretty cheap, like on Amazon or whatever, for 20 or 30 bucks. And a lot of them have solar power system, so it can be charged by solar or sometimes a crank if you don't even have sunshine. But usually there's some sun. Anyhow, that I think is a very good idea to have those. It would be a good idea to have a little pop tent or a shelf, like a um, paracord and stakes and some kind of a rain fly and something to build a shelter with you for you. You can always gather wood or scraps of stuff that you can burn to stay warm. Another way is they have, like, I believe they're called mylar blankets, which are very thin, like a foil thing, and you can slip into that and stay warm for a night. It's a good idea to find a place that is close to a background, either trees or say a wall of some sort, to have no elements behind you, and then you'll be a little safer in that kind of situation. You have to be able to protect yourself from bugs and animals, so netting of some sort would be good, just to have it in your emergency supply. I recommend having a bug out bag that would allow you to survive for about 3 days. And you can pack enough for 3 or 4 days in your backpack and carry that with you. Have a small shelter system, food enough for a few days, and a water system. You can't carry gallons of water when you're walking. You need to have a way to survive with if you have to have a medical situation. So a first aid kit in your backpack is a very good idea. The water purifier tablets in your bug out system. Need to have some kind of a bedding, not heavy, lightweight, and still be able to sleep. You need to have a good change of clothes, and you need to have good shoes and a warm jacket when it's really cold. Determine in advance where you'll go. I recommend that you carry a note in your bag where who you can contact in case of an emergency, and if you are not able to contact and somebody finds you in a situation that you need help, they will know who to contact and what your needs are, what your medications are, what you're allergic to. Things like that are very important. You need to have a plan. If you get stuck somewhere or you find out you have to get away really fast, you need to have somebody to go to that can help you, or have a partner. It's better to go with somebody than be completely alone. Then you'll have each other to help hold you up. Um, find a friend that you can trust. Disabled and you cannot carry in that kind of weight, 20 or 30 pounds, find a bag that you could put on a cart with wheels, decent wheels, so you can go over different kinds of terrain, but not heavy. There are things out there, dollies, that have the kind of wheels, or little types of strollers of things like that that can actually go over different kinds of terrain. So if you need to have that in case of an absolute emergency and you have to be on foot, it'll be a lot easier for you to haul your stuff, or a little wagon or something. Anyhow, that's an idea. You never know if somebody would come along in a disaster. People are desperate, and you know that they will take what you have. So have a place to put things where you can go get it if you have to replace it or need something. You can always find a place to bury a big uh, metal container or something with the bare necessities. In your rigs, you can have one big plastic container with all the things you need for an emergency situation to last a little longer, because you don't have if you don't have a storage unit or something close by, that could be a problem to get to. So if you have extra storage room in your rig, keep a big plastic bin for all the things you need to have backups. You could always plan in advance, find a place where you can actually bury something if you need it, that nobody else knows, and a way to hide it or camouflage it, so in an emergency you will be able to get to it. Many RVs or people that are on wheels have a storage unit somewhere, but even that is not a sure thing, so it's a good idea to have other places to put things if you need to. I'm looking pretty small, right? So if I got into a situation where I had to defend myself, I would have to know how to do it. I think a great idea is if you're able to get a self-defense course. Take a self-defense course so you know what things will keep you safe from a predator. I don't want to live in fear. So if I'm prepared, I don't have to live in fear. Also, I have a very strong faith. So that's probably the most important thing. When all else fails, make sure you have yourself right with God, because He will come through for you in a serious situation. I do believe He expects us to do everything we can for ourselves. But I also believe when all else fails and you have nowhere else to turn, if you call out His name and have a good relationship with Him, He will be there for you. He has always been there for me. I'm sure there are hundreds and probably thousands of ideas that I have not mentioned in this video. I cannot cover everything in this short video, but I will say, please put your ideas in the chat comments, and people that are interested can go through the chat messages and see other ideas that they might be able to apply. Keep your comments short because nobody's going to read a page-long comment, but a short comment will be beneficial to everybody, including me, and I always read the comments, so thank you. So make sure you put a comment in there. Check out my description below this video, hit see more, and scroll down to see all the ways you can support this channel. And I appreciate your support. Hit the like button. If not already subscribed, please consider doing so. And make sure you hit the bell and hit all so you'll be notified when I'm putting out another video. Thank you for coming. I hope this has helped you. Tell somebody you love them today and offer any kind of assistance you can if they need it.
I did a short on his. I got 1.5K views.
He says, I want out.
And they must say, you hear that?
Just a little thank you, and I'm letting you know your special gifts of love are helping me grow as I try to help others by your joining me. We are doing this together, we are family. We can help others to find joy in their lives and not be discouraged by all the strife. Thank you for your help, 'cause I know I'm not alone. You are all members and part of my